That a very important part of this forum is exchanging ideas on how to join hands towards building modernization. And many African leaders, including you, Mr. President, have arrived days in advance to go to different cities to get a better understanding about the modernization process here in the country. So what are some of the major gains for you from the travel that you had to different cities in Jiangsu, Hunan, as well as Guangdong province? Some of the lessons that you think are inspirational to the modernization process in your country?
Looking at the person as an individual, I have been to China. I came here about 61 years ago.
Right.
And stayed here. I know the China of 60 years ago and the China we are in today. In between the 60 years, I've visited China several times. So I have first-hand the leapfrogging of development and the modernization of Chinese cities. If I think of what Peking was 61 years ago and what Beijing is today, is the differences of day and night. But of course, I know in my mind, in my vision, what it was 60 years ago. And I marvel at what it is today, which means there was tremendous transformation, tremendous modernization, tremendous industrialization of this country. This style of life, which was there 60 years ago, this style of life which is there today. Mm-hmm. If we focus on looking at our domestic resources to build our countries and take the responsibility ourselves to build our own country with our own vision, what we want to achieve, what we want to be.
During your trip in Shenzhen, you visited Chinese companies including BYD and Huawei. You actually said that NEVs are very comfortable and you could easily fall asleep while experiencing them. Well, Mr. President, it looks like you're very keen in exploring the new spheres of cooperation in areas such as green technology and digital transformation. Is that the case?
For my own part, I admire what has been achieved. And as I moved around visiting these companies, some of the elder corporate heads understand what I say, because I tell them what they were 60 years ago,
right,
and what they are today. So I say to them, look, I would want to leapfrog development in my country. We need to make sure as we leapfrog our transformation and modernization, we do it thoroughly and perfectly.
Maybe you have also noticed that the participants here at the forum are very passionately talking about how to write a new chapter for the China-Africa community with a shared future. So what is your vision in bringing that forward?
In terms of vision, all of us as African countries have different endowments in our respective countries. Let's look at Zimbabwe. From the discussion, three things come out. For us in particular. We must continue to make sure that we modernize and mechanize and keep our status as a food secure country. Number two, we must build and construct infrastructure so that it becomes the backbone of the modernization and industrialization of our country. Number three, we must not forget ourselves, our culture, and our education. As we pursue our education, it must be anchored on who we are and bring in science, technology, and innovation. But again, on the basis of who we are as we move forward. We should not lose our own characteristics. You say yourselves, we will develop with Chinese characteristics.
That's right.
So the same for us.